You know you waited for too long when shit like this starts happening. Well, thanks to the modern technology, we have USB sticks that are now that small. And I had one, 64 gigabytes, full of videos of my final year and graduation. And maybe you know where I'm going with this. My gran threw it away. It's somewhere in the landfill now. It's not something I can ever buy or relive and re-record. I actually have no proof of ever graduating the University of Cambridge, apart from maybe this t-shirt. So, yikes. By some miracle, a month later, I found like 5% of what I filmed that day. So, I'm gonna use that.
Let's start with some facts. In the summer of 2019, I graduated from the University of Cambridge with 2 degrees, Bachelor of Arts and Master of Engineering. Yeah, despite studying computer science.
BA took 3 years and Master's just 1, and there was no ceremony in between, so this was it. A very important day for me.
First, let's look at the timetable for the week leading up to it. Graduation itself was on 26th of June, but there were crucial deadlines on the way. These deadlines were important to get right, otherwise I would not graduate. They were set by the Department of Computer Science, so they were specific to my course. 31st of May is when all the work had to be finished, which meant that there would be almost a month of doing nothing. Because remember, graduation, 26th of June.
That's because I was graduating with other bachelor students, meaning all the master students had to wait until the end of undergraduate exams, which is usually sometime mid-June, followed by 2 more weeks of May balls. Surprisingly for that, I do have some footage. Priorities.
I had more fun than any of my year group peers because I additionally had this bit, which is a Viva, vocal examination, where you defend your thesis.
And I think in most countries, everyone has to do it. Like, it's totally normal to prepare like a speech to defend your huge piece of work and be ready to answer questions. But in Cambridge, it's usually done only when the department considers your work kinda crap. Or let's just say they're on the fence about which grade to give you. So I was a lucky one to be sort of mentally tortured for half an hour, being asked like, why the hell did this not work for a whole year and you didn't tell us? So for a month after submission, you wait to see your results, because although you had marked work throughout the year, something that undergraduates don't even have, a whole year can be failed with just dissertation.
And you only learn your grade on 21st of June, right before the end of course party, which is so ironic because if you fail, then the party is not really for you.
So yeah, 5 days before graduation, and I learned that I barely passed. And need to prepare for graduation. You know how there is a rehearsal dinner for weddings? Well, there is also one for graduation, just so that you don't mess it up for 200 other people in the room.
25th of June was the pre-graduation day, so to say. 2 most important things were the rehearsal and a fancy dinner. During the rehearsal, they tell you exactly which finger to take when you are inside the Senate House, how to kneel in front of the Vice Chancellor's deputy when he announces your degree, and how to arrange your clothes. The dress code is very strict, and they want to make sure they see your dress 1 day before the graduation. For the nerds out there, here's an actual description of the only 2 options we could choose from.
Graduation dinner was very nice. You are seated by subject, but normally it doesn't matter because you are surrounded by guests, usually graduates' family members. Now, this was something very difficult for people to understand, despite me continuously complaining about how hard it is for Russians to get any sort of visa, especially to the UK. Especially, you know, for a 2-day trip to roam around the city, enjoy some architecture. So yeah, I was kind of alone, but I was also sitting next to my director of studies and some undergraduate students who didn't get a first in their last year, so they couldn't move on to masters and had to graduate with a bachelor degree, which in 2019 happened to be all of the finalists in King's. Then comes the big day, and you just kind of expect a lot of activities, not a single minute to sit down and relax. Nah. The whole thing is just like 30 to 40 minutes and a lot of time to roam around. Normally students show King's College to their parents or grandparents, maybe even go further and show the whole of Cambridge if there is time. I didn't have that. But anyway, getting back to procession and graduation.
Each college has a separate time slot because there is only one Senate House and 31 colleges, which means some colleges graduated on the 26th, others on 27th or even 28th of June. King's happens to be the first college. Good tradition, hey! What happens is all the graduates form a line of 4, sort of like this. First go Masters of Maths, then Masters of Engineering, then Masters of Science, then all the bachelor students. In our King's procession, there were only 3 Master Boys mathematicians, so they made up this incomplete first line. But no engineer or computer scientist could fill that. Then we had multiple lines of Masters of Engineering, i.e. students who did an actual engineering course at Cambridge or computer science like me. And I was second there, right after a boy engineer. Within each degree, you're alphabetically sorted by surname. Further back, there were physicists with their pink hoods. And of course, because all STEM subjects are so male-dominated, I was one out of 3 or something girls in all those master lines. But hey, guess what? I was the first.
Guys, the wrist, mate. At least it's not warm, yeah? Yeah.
I don't think I would have made it if it's been hot.
So you were fashionably late.
Oh, well, we're here on time.
Oh, he's deputy.
So do they do this and walk out straight away? So really they won't see the rest of the graduation at all?
I think we leave, yeah.
Oh my goodness, okay.
Wait, is this a live cam? A ball cam?
A ball cam. Screen for you.
You'll also notice that we all had different colored hoods. Here, there are different degrees and their respective colors. Bachelor hoods are very nice and soft and furry, and I'm kind of sad I never got to wear one. A MEng hood are sort of bronze. Physicists were pink and mathematicians were blue. They all differ in texture, some are expensive silk.
Also remember, these colors are Cambridge specific, so for any other college, like Anglia Ruskin, did you know there was another university in the city of Cambridge? Or even Oxford, those colors would be different.
Say money for my parents.
But I might pass like my voice.
Yeah, 4 years.
Oh my god, that was such a beautiful moment. Like literally, I've never felt so. That was so
You might have noticed me asking my friend whether we would be allowed to stay in the Senate House, and him saying no. The room where we graduated was actually very small. Some parents were seated on the sides, but not all the students could be inside at the same time. This meant that as soon as you received your degree, you had to walk out and wait on this green lawn for the whole procession to go through. All the undergraduates were at the end, of course. So this procession usually takes place from wherever your college is to the Senate House. For a college like King's, it ends up being quite a boring 3-minute walk because Senate House is right next to King's Chapel. For some colleges in the city centre, like Emmanuel, it's the best because they get to catwalk through Cambridge, showing off their Hogwarts-style clothes to all the summer tourists. And for colleges like Girton or Homerton, they probably get a city bus.
And at the end of this glorious day, we had to vacate our rooms because King's really cares about the welfare of international students and would not really rush us out of college when unnecessary to let conference guests come in. But that did not matter because it was the first time in 4 years that I had to bring all of this stuff on the plane, which was obviously impossible. Over 4 years, I accumulated a lot of stuff that could not be stored anywhere in college. Remember, usually college provides you trunk space, which means 3 big boxes that you can store over Christmas vacation, Easter vacation, and summer vacation. How incredibly lucky I was to have friends who graduated and didn't move to London but decided to settle down in Cambridge. And I used their closet. Such a small thing, but means a lot to any international student. And the next morning, I flew home.
Personally, this day was made so much better by 2 of my friends from other colleges, Selwyn and Fitzwilliam, who walked around with me everywhere and made sure I was enjoying the day instead of feeling homesick and not being in the moment. Everything was great: the food, the weather, the atmosphere. I'm very happy that my 4-year Cambridge journey, with all its ups and downs, was finished on such a high note.
Normally you are because in first time, in 4 years. I know, in first time, proper English. Marked worked throughout, marked work? Ooh. You need to be funnier.